Hello, this is Brother Ron. Today's letter comes from Sisha, who writes, Dear Brother Ron, if there is a heaven or hell for people, then there must be one for all animals, too. I'm being serious. What makes humans any different? We are animals, too, just a million times smarter. What do you think? Well, dear Sisha, I think you're right. There are several biblical references to the fact that animals have souls. For example, in 1 Corinthians 15:43, we find the body is planted in a state of dishonor, meaning in the flesh, but is raised to a state of splendor as a spiritual body. It is planted in weakness, but is raised in power. It is planted a physical body, but is raised a spiritual body. If there is a physical body, there is also a spiritual body. Now, obviously, animals have physical bodies, so it is only logical to assume that they also have spiritual bodies, as the verse tells us. Also in Romans 8:19, we find, For the creation is eagerly awaiting the revelation of God's children, because the creation has become subject to futility, meaning the futility of earthly life and pursuing earthly pleasures, though not by anything it did. The one who subjected it did so in the certainty that the creation itself would also be set free from corrupting bondage of the flesh in order to share the glorious freedom of God's children. And of course, the freedom he is speaking of is the freedom of being reunited with God in his kingdom and the release from the bondage of the flesh. I seriously doubt, however, that God ever sends animals to hell. After all, they're just doing what God sent them here to do. Come to think of it, so are we. Maybe that means that God doesn't send humans to hell either. Thank you for joining us.